We are talking Solo, a Star Wars story, which has been hitting the headlines recently because it has had a softer opening weekend than everyone was kind of expecting. And to be honest with you, I didn't really see it until after the weekend, so I contributed to that. But I wanted to see this movie, even though I really didn't like The Last Jedi, and the longer that kind of, since I've seen The Last Jedi, the more I dislike it. But I saw Solo, and I have to say that I actually probably enjoyed this a fair bit more than The Last Jedi. But I don't think it's a great film. But what I really loved in this movie is I thought Alden Ehrenreich was actually quite good as the title character. So he was actually he did seem like he was channeling the character to me. And obviously it's a younger version. I mean, you can question whether he should have had a story in the first place, because it slightly does undercut his kind of heroic turn in the original movies, because obviously that was meant to be he's a bit of a selfish guy and he ends up becoming, you know, unselfish in those films. But in here we see he really was a good person all along. So it kind of undercuts the original Star Wars a little bit. But there you go, it is what it is. But I thought he was great. By far and away the best parts of this movie, his interplay with Chewbacca. And I'm so glad that they gave Chewbacca stuff to do and more screens. And it really pissed me off in the, well, not just The Last Jedi, but also The Force Awakens, that he was essentially sidelined to to focus on Disney's new characters that they've kind of created, and rather than kind of one that they've bought. And considering he is an original character from this trilogy, from the original trilogy, and just because he's not human, he should be given his dues. And I think, older Star Wars fans will probably feel the same. But he's great in this movie. There are some kind of obviously knowing winks to other movies that don't always work. There's a particular cameo here that feels so shoehorned in, and it's like, it just. Does it have to be everything is connected? I mean, can't things just stand alone? Do we all have to have these? We're talking about a whole galaxy here, but it's not. Maybe that aside, there are some other kind of bits and pieces. But I was expecting Boba Fett to show up in this movie, and he doesn't. Although I don't know why his armor is sat behind the main bad guy, but there you go. But what else did I like? I thought there are some sort of fun action sequences here. But it never goes full on kind of as big as the other movies, which I think was probably a good idea. But what doesn't work for me sometimes is that it's a little dark, to be honest. It's a bit underlit. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see what's going on. There are some poor character choices here that just go hand in hand with the way Lucasfilm was going. Obviously, no one really likes the droid L3, whatever her name is. Lando was a little bit underused to me. I thought he was going to be a bit more involved in the action, and he was kind of sidelined for a lot of this movie, so that was a bit of a shame. I thought Donald Glover did alright with what he had, and I especially like the scenes where he's playing Sabak. That was good, but his other scenes seem to be a little weak, if you ask me. There are some other characters that are introduced that are sort of gotten rid of. The first act of this movie is shit. It is just shit. When you get to the point where we are introduced to Chewbacca, that to me is when it picks up, because the first act is just rubbish, boring, don't care about the characters, some stupid CGI work with monsters and stuff like that. Didn't like it. But I've got to say, once we get to the Chewbacca, and then it kind of goes into this the height sort of style of movie, I kind of liked it a little bit more, despite the fact that I don't think it was particularly inspired. It was a lot of safe choices. I still had the fun in it, and to me the main thing that kept me going was the character work, and it feels more like a traditional Star Wars film than maybe the later two saga films. Yeah, I gotta say, I understand some of the critiques here, but this is probably maybe a little bit more interested in seeing more anthology films, more so than the saga films at this point, because I kind of like Rogue One, I kind of like this, but I think I actually prefer those two better than the saga films, and we'll see how it goes, I suppose. I'd be interested in seeing a sequel to this, although I don't like the way, like I said, that shoehorn cameo was in, and it's just I simply don't care about the expanded universe. I know it has its fans, I do not care. just leave that alone if you ask me. But I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I kind of liked it. There you go. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.